Welcome back to Wondered Bliss. My name is Kevin. I hope you're out there having a beautiful day so far. For me, it's a little muggy outside here in Florida, but it's a day off work for me, so it's a beautiful day nonetheless. But if you have been listening to me, recently you'd know that I've started a new job. I'm a GM of a restaurant down here, and I just finished up my manager in training course, I guess I'll call it. It was 6 weeks up in Auburn, Alabama at one of the other restaurants. They sent me up there to learn the whole show production, all of the food prep, the ins and outs of how they want things done. But I'm done with that, and I'm back at my restaurant. I've been here about a week and a half now, and it's been interesting because they do things a little bit differently. It's a different space, a different workflow. The floor plan and layout is totally different. All of the people are different and new individuals compared to the ones that I've gotten to know over the past couple months. But it's been good. It's been good. But it's been an interesting experience for me to be stepping into this role in this new environment. And there's been a couple things that I wanted to speak about on this podcast here that I've been learning and going through as I've been making this adjustment. Because in this new place, they do things differently than the other location. Some better, some worse. Some things I really like, some things I don't. And in my position, I not only have the authority, but the duty and responsibility to make changes, to make proper good changes that will improve the workflow and ease the burden on the staff and or the customers. Any way that I can to improve the restaurant, I should. But this has had some of the employees a little bit concerned because they've been doing things the way that they've been doing them for a while. And a new guy coming in with a bunch of ideas, it's concerning. Who is this man? Who is this new manager of ours? Are we going to like the changes that he makes? We don't know yet, and it's concerning, and you can be skeptical and worried about it. And I've heard a little bit of feedback there as I've been running through, kind of taking notes of all of the things that I've noticed, creating my laundry list of changes and fixes. But I've made sure to take some time to sit down with some of my shift leads and other employees to just make sure they know who I am and that I care about them and their opinions. And anything that I do change, I want to hear their opinions. I want to make sure that it works for them. Make sure that they know that they're safe to come to me with any feedback and any ideas that they have of their own. I've asked many of them very specifically, like, what frustrations have you had? What have we been living with here that bothers you every day? What is it that concerns you and has been bothering you? And have you had any ideas of fixing it? And I've had some good conversations with several of the employees about making changes to cleaning schedules and preparation and everything in between. But what's been fascinating about this is that all of the stuff that I've pointed out and I've been writing down have all been things that really have been bothering all the staff anyway. Stuff that they've just been living with day in, day out, but it's how it's always been done, and it's how they've always done it and continued doing it because you get caught up in the craziness of the restaurant life, and there isn't always time or the energy to try to fix all of your problems. Sometimes you just don't have the bandwidth. But a person coming in with fresh eyes, especially in my position, who has the authority to push for changes, is a very interesting position to be in. Because all it is, it's pointing out the problems that have just become the furniture that exists in everyone's life. They all know it, they're problems. They all know that, like, yeah, this is annoying, but it's how it's always been done, so why change it? But if you come in and you point it out, you can improve the situation and life of each and every one of your employees, and me too. I'm going to have to be living with it too. So some of it is just selfish. I'm like, one of the big things, that was a good example of this, was the potato rack for our French fries. It was kind of tucked in this corner behind the shelf, but we have to rotate these potatoes. And in order to get to the stack of potatoes in the back, you have to pull all of the other ones out in order to rotate the new ones in. And it's just been this way for years, because it's how it fit in the corner, and it's how it was. And it was annoying. I rotated the potatoes one time, and each of these cases is 50 pounds. So you're moving case after case after case, every shipment of potatoes that come in. It bothered me. I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. I don't know if I need wheels on this rack or what. And I was talking with the owner about it. And we were running through my idea of just maybe putting wheels on this rack so we could scoot it out and make rotation a little bit easier. But it would cost money, and this rack in particular wasn't designed for wheels, so would it collapse under the weight of all of these potatoes? Because we have like 50 cases at a time. And my initial idea wasn't a good one. And it would cost money, and there's no guarantee that it would work. But I got pulled off right after our conversation to go do some prep and other things. Restaurant life is crazy. But as he was sitting there, after I had just pointed it out, he agreed. He was like, yeah, no, that is terribly annoying that we have to rotate these this way. And he sat and did some measurements for a second. He immediately got to work. And he pulled the shelves out and just switched their positioning. Just swapped the spots of these two racks. One was a shelf for dry goods, and one was this rack for the potatoes. And they still fit in the corner perfectly. But now, on the more open free wall, we have the potatoes, so we don't have to move them in and out all the time. We can just rotate the stock as they're coming in right there. And it's perfect. It was a great solution. And the other dry goods, like the drink carriers and other things, we can just reach behind the potatoes to grab those. And we don't need those all the time. So it's much less of an inconvenience. But it was a beautiful situation. I was very happy to see him jump so quickly to coming up with a solution. But it made me laugh because it wasn't me who came up with the solution. He fixed the problem. And really, it was better than what I had come up with when I was thinking about it quickly. I'm sure I could have come up with that solution if I sat with it a little bit longer, but he did, and he did it quickly. And automatically, bam, 10 minutes of adjustment solved a ton of extra and unnecessary effort and annoyance for all of the employees, us and him included. But it was something that they had been sitting with for years. And he had mentioned afterwards, he was like, yeah, what annoys me is that 2 years of being here himself, that he hadn't thought about swapping those two racks. He was like, I'm bothered with myself about this. But I sat and had the conversation about sometimes just having fresh eyes coming in and asking the question. It's like, do we have to do it this way, or is there a better way? Can force you to think and come up with other solutions. Because if you've just done something some way for some amount of time, you get used to that just being the process, it could annoy the piss out of you. It could be annoying as shit, but you just deal with it every time because it's how you've done it. But until someone comes in to make you rethink it, you may never swap those two shelves. You may never do it. You may just continue to live with it. But I had the opportunity to be confronted with it for the first time. And that's a powerful place to be because it hits you and you haven't made that adjustment yet. You haven't gotten used to the discomfort of it yet. So it makes you ask the question, is there a better way to do this? And it wasn't even me who came up with a solution. He did. All I did was ask the question. And I was brave enough to do it. Brave enough to point out the flaws. And this has happened with several things around the restaurant. Just little things. And none of them by themselves are huge inconveniences. The potatoes is probably the biggest one just because they're heavy and awkward and strange. But other little things, small little annoyances, little organizational things here and there randomly, each and every one of them by itself isn't a big problem, but when you are dealing with 20 or 30 small annoyances every day, they add up. And all of a sudden, you're just annoyed. Each one of them by themselves, not a problem. But the culmination of all, you've got a big problem. And those are the things that I've been looking for. And I've been asking all of the staff about, like, what do we need? How do we do this? What ideas have you had? And that, I think, is a great way to do it. If anybody's jumping into a position of leadership, consult your staff, for goodness sake. Any changes that you're making, like, you have the responsibility to care for and provide for your staff. They are your business. They are your restaurant. They are the team. They're the ones who do the work and make things run. Make it work efficiently for them. Take care of them. Make it work. Don't just do things unilaterally because you want them done a specific way. Ask them, what would make their lives easier? How can we make adjustments that will benefit them? Because if it benefits them, it'll benefit the rest of your business, because they are your business. We have the structures and the buildings and the systems put in place that are part of the business, but ultimately, every business is the people. It's the ones doing the work. And if you don't take care of them, you do not have a good business, and they will leave. All of those small annoyances, they will stack up. They'll frustrate them every day, and eventually they'll hit a breaking point and they will want to go. But if you can clear that up, I think you have the responsibility to do it. Now, it can worry them in my situation where I'm brand new and they don't know what I'm going to do or if I care. But you could be a well-established owner or manager, leader, and still think of this in this way. You can all the time be looking for solutions to the problems that you have. And all you got to do is be a little bit creative and open the door. Open the door to the minds that are existing in this place. And all of you together can come up with wonderful solutions. That's the fucking truth. That much I know. Very rarely will one person have all of the solutions to all of the problems. And every brain is primed a little bit differently to think from a slightly different angle. So get the perspective of all of them. I think that's huge. Something that I'm trying to do right now. Because if you don't, things just won't work as efficiently. It'll piss off your staff. It'll piss you off. It'll create bottlenecks that don't have to be there. But this whole experience, and why I'm talking about this, goes beyond just the restaurant. It goes beyond just management and leadership. It extends into your personal life. And something that I've been trying to rack my brain about in my own day, my own apartment, my own life. What are the fixtures in my location, in my habits? What has just become the furniture in my life that may annoy me every single day, but yet I've just dealt with it because I've always dealt with it. It's just how things are, that I've gotten used to it and stopped asking the questions, how can I improve this? I mentioned in a previous episode, a couple episodes ago, how recently I had reorganized my studio and office space. And I had a whole closet in my apartment that I just hadn't really touched or used. But yet I was cramped in my office. No, I took the damn time. I cleared out a lot of space, and I'm finally utilizing the storage space that I already had, that I had just been ignoring. And frankly, it's made things work a lot more efficiently. Opened up some space to think. And I felt better every time I stepped into my studio space. Just takes a little bit of pressure off of you. And you're able to think a little bit more clearly and freely. And in a studio or office space where you need to be creative, you better have that space and room to think. So that was one thing. And I've been trying to think of others. Filing systems and how I've been handling my personal income recently. I've gone and set up my own personal profit and loss sheet, more organized monthly budget system so I can track my expenses, take care of the ins and the outs to make sure that I'm living and being as efficient as I can. Because if you don't, and you're just spending carelessly, you'll wonder why you're always broke. But if you do take care, you can budget appropriately. And then even if you're not making $1 million a year, you can live comfortably because you've taken the time to track the expenses, make sure that the allocations are in appropriate places so that you'll have the money when you need it. So I've been taking time to do that, but I've been racking my brain more and more about what systems, what else can I do? And of course there's more. Of course there's more. And I'm going to do it every day the more that I can. It's a little bit tougher because you don't have those fresh eyes anymore to see all of your problems. But I challenge you, if you're listening to me now, take the time, look at your life, put on that analytical pair of glasses or goggles, whatever you want to call it, and look at your habits, look at your life. What are you doing? What bothers you every day that can be changed? It may be frustrating to change it, it may be uncomfortable to get used to a new process, but if it makes it work better, and it takes a load or a burden of stress off of your shoulders, it is worth every bit of effort that is exerted because it will save you all of that energy later. Take a day, take an hour, half the time, like the situation with the potatoes. It took my boss maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes and a bit of energy exerted to shift everything around. But he just cleared up a lot of time and energy for the rest of the existence of the restaurant. So was it worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely it was. The same extends to you in all of your life, in all of your relationships. What have I been doing? How have I been doing it? Is it the best way? Can it be changed? If it can be changed, it should be changed. It'll make your life better. It just will. But sometimes you just need to be challenged. And it can help sometimes to bring in a fresh pair of eyes. Tell someone about your life, about your situation, and maybe they'll offer that insight if they're brave enough. And if you ask them, they'll feel brave enough to do it. Like, am I doing this right? Is there a better way that you can imagine to make this work? Ask a few people, whatever situation it may be, if you're comfortable enough to do that. And they may just offer you life-changing perspective or advice, or just enough information, just enough confirmation, rather, that yes, there's a problem here that can be resolved. So figure it out. And then with that, it'll make you rack your brain. Figure out, just like it did my boss in those damn shelves. And you'll come up with a solution. It's a beautiful thing. All of the people in your life, all of your relationships, ask for their perspective. Especially, if you don't even have to be a difficult personality to deal with, but just a person living. We all do things in interesting and unique ways. We all have our own little idiosyncrasies and ways of being that we just do, that have been how we always do things. And the people in our lives may or may not feel comfortable pointing them out because they don't want to rock the boat with you. They don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. But if you ask them, like, hey, is there anything that I do or how we do this that bothers you? They can point it out, open up the door for positive change. But you have to be willing to listen and willing to make the changes if they point it out. Work together on finding the best solutions for every situation, every person involved. That's how you can be the leader in your own life. That's how you can take charge of your problems so that they don't continue to be problems, aggravating you every day. You can ease the burden on yourself and all of the people surrounding you, especially the people that you love. Nobody needs that. Life is tough enough. We don't need extra burdens, right? But that's my soapbox for the day. Just a little thing that's been going on for me the past week and a half that I thought was interesting. It was an interesting opportunity to come in with fresh eyes. And I challenge you in your life. Put on that fresh set of eyes, goggles, glasses, and just analyze your life. Analyze what you do, how you do it, what's going on. And it could be anything and everything. And if you make the changes, you take the time and invest in yourself, the rest of the time that you have will be better. It will move smoother. And it will be beautiful. That much I promise. That much I know. But all right. That's it for today. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Thank you. Peace.